Have you ever thought you were making a quick, healthy choice by reheating your leftovers? What if I told you that some everyday foods, when reheated, can secretly harm your body? Shocking, right? But it's true. Nutritionists and doctors warn that certain foods, when warmed up after storage, can produce toxic substances linked to digestive problems, brain damage, and even cancer. In this guide, you'll discover 5 common foods you should never reheat. Foods you probably think are perfectly safe. But beneath the surface, science tells a different story. Keep reading until the end to learn not just which foods to avoid, but also the surprising medical reasons behind these warnings. Small kitchen changes can protect your long-term health. First on the list is spinach. Known as a superfood, spinach is loaded with iron, antioxidants, and essential vitamins like A, C, and K. Whether tossed into salads, blended in smoothies, or sautéed in stir-fries, it's a staple in health-focused diets. But here's the catch. Reheating spinach could silently be turning this nutritious powerhouse into a health hazard. Why? It's all about nitrates. In its natural state, the high nitrate content in spinach isn't harmful. In fact, these compounds help lower blood pressure, improve circulation, and boost physical performance. However, when spinach is cooked, stored, and then reheated, especially in a microwave or at high temperatures, a chemical shift occurs. Nitrate break down into nitrites, which then convert into nitrosamines, substances known to be carcinogenic. Yes, you read that correctly. Carcinogenic. Studies from institutions like the National Cancer Institute and the World Health Organization have linked nitrosamines to cancers of the stomach, colon, and other parts of the digestive tract. But the risks don't stop there. Emerging research suggests nitrosamines may contribute to neurological decline, even playing a role in diseases like Alzheimer's over time. For older adults, this is particularly concerning. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at detoxifying harmful substances. What once caused little harm in youth can silently accelerate health issues later in life. Consider a simple, relatable scenario. You prepare a large pot of vegetable soup on Sunday, filled with hearty greens like spinach. Throughout the week, you reheat bowl after bowl, thinking you're fueling your body with healthy meals. But each reheating process may be quietly creating nitrosamines inside your food. Over months or years of this habit, these compounds can accumulate, increasing your long-term health risks without you ever noticing. Does this mean you should stop eating spinach? Absolutely not. Fresh spinach remains one of the healthiest foods you can consume. The key is in how you prepare and store it. To protect yourself, enjoy spinach fresh whenever possible. If cooking it, eat immediately without storing for long periods. Avoid reheating meals containing spinach, especially in microwaves or at high heat. Simple changes, but they could protect your brain, your gut, and your future health. This was just the first hidden danger lurking in your leftovers. As you move forward, you'll discover more surprising foods that nutritionists warn against reheating, each with their own health risks rooted in scientific research. Making smart choices in your kitchen can protect your body not just today, but for the years ahead. If you're preparing a spinach-based meal, here's something surprising. You're better off eating it cold. Fresh spinach salad or even cold spinach soup is far safer than reheating it. But if reheating becomes absolutely necessary, slow and gentle is a way to go. Use the stovetop at low heat and avoid the microwave altogether. And here's a key rule: never reheat spinach more than once. To minimize nitrate breakdown, always refrigerate spinach dishes as soon as possible after cooking and try to consume them within a day or 2. These small adjustments may seem simple, but they can make a big difference. The more you understand about your food, the more power you have to protect your health. By being mindful about how you handle something as common as spinach, you're actively guarding your body and mind from invisible risks. With just a few small changes, like choosing fresh or cold spinach more often, you can keep this nutrient-packed food working as your health ally, not a hidden threat. Now, let's talk about the next food on the list: potatoes. Comforting, affordable, and versatile, potatoes are a staple on dinner tables around the world. Whether roasted until golden, baked to perfection, mashed into creamy sides, or added to hearty stews, they are a favorite for good reason. But reheated potatoes can be silently harming your health in ways you might never suspect. The danger isn't a potato itself, but what happens after you cook it, cool it, store it, and then warm it back up. Here's what's happening behind the scenes. When you first cook potatoes, the natural starches soften, making them easy for your body to digest. But once those cooked potatoes are cooled, especially if they are stored improperly, those starches undergo a process called retrogradation, transforming into something called resistant starch. You might think this is a good thing. After all, resistant starch can act like a prebiotic, supporting gut health and helping regulate blood sugar levels. And in small amounts, it is beneficial. The problem? It's what can grow alongside those cool potatoes that poses a real risk. When cooked potatoes are left to cool slowly, especially when wrapped in foil, something dangerous can occur. The lack of oxygen inside that foil-wrapped environment creates ideal conditions for certain bacteria to grow, specifically Clostridium botulinum, the bacteria responsible for botulism. This bacteria thrives in starchy, low-oxygen spaces. Once it starts growing, it can release a potent neurotoxin that's tasteless, odorless, and invisible to the eye. And yet, consuming even trace amounts can lead to serious illness. Symptoms might start with dizziness, nausea, and stomach pain. But in severe cases, these toxins can interfere with the nervous system, potentially leading to long-term neurological damage. Older adults are especially vulnerable to this hidden threat. As we age, our immune systems and digestive systems weaken, making it harder to fight off bacterial toxins. What's more alarming, modern medical research shows a strong link between gut health and brain function. Scientists now understand that chronic inflammation in the gut, often triggered by harmful bacteria, can increase the risk of neurodegenerative conditions like Parkinson's disease and Alzheimer's. In other words, something as innocent as reheating leftover potatoes could, over time, contribute to systemic inflammation that affects both your body and your brain. Think about this common scenario. You bake a tray of potatoes for dinner. You wrap the leftovers in foil and pop them in the fridge. A couple of days later, you're short on time, so you toss them into the microwave for a quick side dish. Seems harmless, right? But in that moment, you may be exposing yourself to small but dangerous amounts of bacterial toxins. If those potatoes weren't cooled quickly and stored correctly, the risk rises even higher. Each time you repeat this cycle, the cumulative exposure increases. Fortunately, avoiding this risk is simple once you know how. First, try to cook only the amount of potatoes you plan to eat fresh. If you do have leftovers, avoid wrapping them in foil. Instead, cool them quickly and store them in airtight containers in the refrigerator. Don't let cooked potatoes sit out at room temperature for too long, as this window is when bacteria like C. botulinum thrive. When reheating, skip the microwave. Use your oven or stovetop to ensure even, thorough heating, which can help kill bacteria more effectively. And most importantly, never reheat potatoes more than once. If they've been sitting in the fridge for several days or weren't cooled properly after cooking, it's safer to discard them than to take the risk. The takeaway here is simple. Potatoes themselves aren't dangerous, but how you handle them can be. By making a few careful changes in your kitchen habits, cooling leftovers quickly, storing them safely, and reheating them properly, you can continue to enjoy potatoes without putting your health in danger. Food can nourish you or harm you. Knowing the difference, even in small details like how you store and reheat your meals, gives you control over your health. And it's these everyday habits that shape your long-term well-being. Small steps today can protect you from hidden risks tomorrow. So the next time you reach for those leftover potatoes, remember, fresh is best and knowledge is power. Leftovers that have been sitting in your refrigerator for more than a few days, or showing even the slightest signs of spoilage, should never make it to your plate. With careful storage and proper reheating, potatoes can remain a satisfying and nourishing part of your meals. By simply paying attention to how you handle them, you can avoid hidden risks and fully enjoy their benefits. These small, often overlooked habits can have a significant impact on long-term health, especially for older adults seeking to maintain their energy, memory, and overall vitality. Now, let's move on to a food almost everyone eats regularly: eggs. Affordable, nutritious, and versatile, eggs are found in kitchens everywhere. They are a protein-packed staple, whether hard-boiled for snacks, scrambled for breakfast, or baked into quiches and casseroles. Eggs provide high-quality protein to support muscle strength and essential choline to nourish brain function. But what most people don't realize is that reheating eggs, especially fried or scrambled eggs, can quietly turn this wholesome food into a source of hidden health risks. Here's what's happening inside your food. When eggs are first cooked, their proteins undergo a natural transformation called denaturation. This process unfolds the proteins, making them easier for your body to digest and absorb. This is not only normal but beneficial. However, when you take those cooked eggs and reheat them, particularly using high heat or uneven methods like microwaving, the structure of the proteins changes again. This second alteration isn't helpful. It can reduce nutritional value and introduce potential hazards. Two main problems emerge: the breakdown of sulfur compounds and the oxidation of cholesterol. You may have noticed that reheated eggs often develop a rubbery texture and a strong, sulfur-like smell. That's from the breakdown of natural sulfur compounds. While unpleasant, this isn't the most serious concern. What's far more worrying is what happens to the cholesterol inside the yolk. According to research published in scientific journals like the Journal of Lipids, when cholesterol in eggs is reheated, especially at high temperatures, it can oxidize. This creates dangerous byproducts known as oxysterols, which have been directly linked to increased inflammation in the body and a higher risk of cardiovascular disease. But the danger doesn't stop there. According to research featured in Nature Reviews Neurology, chronic inflammation is a key driver behind memory loss, cognitive decline, and degenerative brain conditions such as dementia. These risks are especially concerning for older adults. As we age, our arteries become less flexible, our brains more sensitive to inflammation, and our bodies less efficient at metabolizing fats. This means that small, seemingly harmless habits, like regularly reheating scrambled eggs in the microwave, can accumulate subtle but serious effects on your long-term health. Consider this simple scenario. On Sunday, you boil a dozen eggs to use throughout the week. By Wednesday, you're in a rush, so you toss one in the microwave for a quick protein boost. It feels like a healthy choice. But under the surface, that reheated egg could now contain oxidized cholesterol and altered proteins that trigger inflammation within your body. Do this repeatedly over weeks, months, or years, and the effect can quietly undermine your health, increasing risks that you'd never associate with such a basic meal. So, what's the solution? The safest approach is simple. Prioritize eating eggs fresh whenever possible. If you batch cook them, skip reheating altogether and enjoy your eggs cold. Slice into salads, sandwiches, or simply as a quick snack. If you must reheat, do so gently. Use low heat on a stovetop rather than blasting them in a microwave, and avoid reheating more than once. Also, don't let cooked eggs linger at room temperature. Store them in the refrigerator as soon as possible after cooking and consume them within a few days. If an egg smells strange, looks discolored, or has been in storage too long, play it safe and discard it. Eggs, when handled wisely, remain one of the most nutritious and affordable foods you can eat. By adjusting how you store and prepare them, you can continue to benefit from their rich proteins and brain-boosting nutrients while avoiding the hidden risks associated with improper reheating. Over time, these small, mindful habits can help protect your energy levels, preserve your mental sharpness, and support your overall health. Sometimes, rethinking something as simple as your morning routine can be the first step toward giving your body the best possible care. Choices as small as deciding whether to reheat or eat your eggs cold may seem trivial, but they can quietly shape your well-being over the years. With just a little awareness, you can keep eggs working for you, not against you. And now, let's move on to another household favorite that may carry hidden risks when reheated: chicken. Chicken is a go-to protein for many people trying to stay healthy. Whether it's baked, roasted, or grilled, it's lean, versatile, and easy to prepare in large batches. Many of us cook extra chicken to save time, storing leftovers in the refrigerator for quick meals throughout the week. On the surface, it seems like a smart, practical choice. But here's what most people don't realize. Reheating chicken, especially in the microwave or a hot oven, can subtly alter its composition in ways that may not only upset your digestion but also increase long-term health risks. When chicken is cooked for the first time, heat transforms its proteins through a natural process that actually makes them easier for your body to digest. But when you reheat that same chicken, especially using uneven or high heat, those proteins change structure yet again. This second transformation makes the protein stiffer, harder, and less bioavailable, meaning your body struggles to break them down efficiently. If you're young and have a strong digestive system, you might not notice this right away. But as we age, things change. Stomach acid production declines. Digestive enzymes become less effective. What used to be simple for your body to process can become a challenge over time. The result? After eating reheated chicken, you might feel bloated, sluggish, or mildly uncomfortable, and not realize that your microwave is partly to blame. But the impact doesn't stop at digestion. When proteins like chicken are exposed to repeated rounds of high heat, they can generate substances known as advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. You may not have heard of AGEs, but they are a growing concern in nutritional science. These compounds fuel low-grade chronic inflammation, the type of slow, silent inflammation that quietly undermines your health over months and years. This type of inflammation is far more than minor joint pain or stiffness. It's now recognized as a driving force behind serious conditions like heart disease, insulin resistance, and neurodegenerative disorders, such as dementia and Alzheimer's. Every time you eat foods that promote inflammation, even in small amounts, you're adding to that cumulative burden on your body. Over time, these effects can weaken your resistance to age-related illnesses, disrupt your energy levels, and cloud your mental clarity. To put this in perspective, imagine you cook a batch of roasted chicken breasts on Sunday. On Tuesday, you grab a portion from the fridge, microwave it for a quick lunch, and get on with your day. Maybe you notice the chicken feels a bit rubbery or has an odd aftertaste, but you shrug it off. What you're actually noticing is a result of heat-damaged proteins. Those subtle changes in texture and flavor signal deeper chemical shifts happening inside your food. Now, imagine repeating this habit several times a week, month after month, year after year. Over time, those reheated proteins can stress your digestive system, sap your immune function, and contribute to chronic inflammation. For older adults already dealing with arthritis, high blood pressure, or mental fog, the impact is even greater. Low-grade inflammation acts like a slow-burning fire inside your body, draining your energy and stealing your clarity. Simple daily activities can start to feel harder, your mood less stable, your thinking less sharp, and you may never connect it to something as ordinary as yesterday's leftover chicken. So, what can you do to protect your health? Thankfully, the solution is simple and practical. If you must reheat chicken, do it gently. Skip the microwave whenever possible. Instead, use a stovetop over low heat or a low-temperature oven, which preserves the protein structure more effectively. Better yet, rethink how you use your leftovers. Cold chicken is a healthy, delicious option in salads, wraps, or grain bowls, without the need for reheating at all. Another smart strategy, cook in smaller batches. By preparing only what you'll eat fresh, you avoid the need to store and reheat altogether, keeping your meals both nutritious and digestion-friendly. This one small shift can help you maintain your energy, support your immune system, and reduce unnecessary inflammation quietly building in your body. These tiny, everyday choices add up. They won't solve every health issue, but reducing hidden stresses like reheated chicken allows your body to focus its resources on what matters most: healing, repairing, and thriving. What seems like a small change in your kitchen can actually be a powerful step toward protecting your long-term health. Next time you're about to toss last night's chicken into the microwave, pause and think about your body's quiet struggle with reheated proteins. Choose gentle reheating, enjoy it cold, or simply cook less at once. Your energy, clarity, and overall health are worth that little extra effort. As you age, small choices in your daily routine can quietly shape your long-term health. And one of the most overlooked yet impactful choices involves something as simple as how you handle your food after it's cooked. The truth is, how you prepare your food after cooking matters just as much as the food itself. Chicken, for example, is widely considered a healthy choice, but what you do with it after it's cool can either support or quietly harm your body over time. Mindfulness around habits like reheating isn't just about nutrition. It's about showing care and respect for your body, protecting it from avoidable stress as you age. Tiny shifts in your kitchen today can grow into powerful health strategies that protect your energy, focus, and resilience well into later life. Now, let's explore a food that few people realize can become problematic when reheated: mushrooms. Loved for their rich, earthy flavor and satisfying texture, mushrooms aren't just a culinary favorite. They are packed with nutrients. Whether you're tossing portobellos onto the grill, sautéing cremini for a stir-fry, or adding shiitake to soups, mushrooms contribute fiber, B vitamins, antioxidants, and immune-boosting compounds like beta-glucans. In fact, they've been linked to heart health, better immune function, and even cancer prevention. But here's a little-known truth. Mushrooms are highly sensitive to reheating. Warming them improperly, or too often, doesn't just affect their flavor or texture. It can subtly alter their chemical structure in ways that impact your digestion and overall health. Unlike most vegetables, mushrooms contain fragile proteins, complex enzymes, and delicate fats. When mushrooms are cooked fresh, these components break down in a controlled way, releasing their nutrients and flavors for your body to absorb. But when you reheat mushrooms, especially using high heat methods like microwaving, their structure breaks down further. This isn't a good thing. Their proteins and enzymes transform into forms that your body struggles to process, potentially leading to bloating, heaviness, and digestive discomfort after eating. If you're young with a robust digestive system, you might not notice these effects. But as you age, your body changes. By your 50s, 60s, and beyond, your gut motility slows and your digestive enzymes decline. Foods that were once easy to digest can start causing discomfort, making reheated mushrooms a subtle but real digestive challenge for older adults. Yet, the risks don't end with digestion. The real concern lies in oxidative damage. Improperly stored or reheated mushrooms, especially when left in plastic containers where moisture collects, can undergo oxidation. Their proteins and fats break down into compounds that cause cellular stress. This oxidative stress promotes inflammation and increases the risk of cardiovascular disease, cognitive decline, and even neurodegenerative illnesses. Why does this matter? Oxidative stress is a key driver of aging and chronic disease. Studies show that oxidized compounds from improperly handled foods, like reheated mushrooms, can overwhelm your body's natural antioxidant defenses, pushing your body into a state of imbalance. In practical terms, that means feeling more tired, struggling with mental fog, and having a weaker immune response. For people already managing long-term health conditions, this additional burden can quietly but significantly erode vitality over time. Consider a simple example. Let's say you've cooked a creamy mushroom risotto for dinner, rich with oyster and cremini mushrooms. It's hearty, flavorful, and nutrient-dense. But the next day, you scoop the leftovers into a plastic container and toss it in the microwave for lunch. The result? You've transformed those beneficial mushrooms into a potential source of oxidative stress and digestive strain, without even realizing it. What was a nourishing meal fresh from the pan may quietly burden your body after improper storage and reheating. So, how can you protect yourself without giving up mushrooms altogether? Fortunately, the solution is simple. First, cook mushrooms in amounts you eat fresh whenever possible. Mushrooms are always healthiest when freshly cooked and eaten right away. Second, avoid reheating mushrooms repeatedly or using high heat. If you must reheat them, do so gently over low heat. Skip the microwave when possible. This helps preserve their delicate structure and minimizes oxidative damage. Third, store leftovers properly. Place cooked mushrooms in glass or ceramic containers, not plastic, to reduce moisture buildup that can accelerate oxidation. Eat them within a day or two, while their nutritional value remains intact. By making these small but powerful changes, you can continue to enjoy mushrooms as a nourishing part of your diet, without exposing your body to unnecessary stress. Protect your energy, reduce inflammation, and support your body's healing and repair systems by respecting how delicate foods like mushrooms respond to heat and storage. In the end, taking care of your health doesn't always require drastic changes. Sometimes, it's about simple awareness of how everyday kitchen habits, like reheating leftovers, shape your well-being over time. By preparing and handling your food with care, you're not just feeding your body, you're protecting it for the years to come. Imagine you cooked a delicious mushroom risotto for dinner. The next day, you pull the leftovers from the refrigerator, microwave a portion, and notice some things changed. The mushrooms aren't tender and juicy anymore. Instead, they're rubbery, slightly slimy, or oddly chewy. Their flavor seems dull or even unpleasant. But this isn't just about taste or texture. What you're experiencing is a sign of chemical change inside the mushrooms, changes that could be quietly affecting your health. Mushrooms are unlike most other vegetables. They are rich in delicate proteins, complex enzymes, and sensitive fats. When you cook them fresh, these compounds break down gently, unlocking nutrients your body can absorb and enjoy. But reheating, especially in a microwave or at high temperatures, causes further breakdown. Each round of heat strips mushrooms of their nutritional integrity, transforming helpful nutrients into forms your body struggles to digest. The result? Digestive discomfort. You may feel bloated, heavy, or sluggish after eating reheated mushrooms. And if you're over 50, your body's natural slowdown in enzyme production and gut motility can make this even worse. What might have been a minor annoyance in your 20s can quietly become a daily discomfort in later years. But the problem doesn't stop there. Improperly stored or reheated mushrooms are also vulnerable to oxidative stress. When proteins and fats in mushrooms oxidize, they create harmful compounds that quietly stress your body at the cellular level. Over time, this oxidative stress contributes to chronic inflammation, a root cause of heart disease, cognitive decline, and other age-related illnesses. The texture shift in your leftovers is your warning signal. Fresh mushrooms are firm yet juicy, with a satisfying bite. Reheated ones often become watery, rubbery, or overly soft. These aren't just sensory disappointments. They reflect structural breakdown inside the food itself. What was once nourishing now potentially fuels inflammation and digestion issues, especially for older adults managing existing health concerns like bloating, gas, or irregular digestion. So how can you protect yourself while still enjoying mushrooms? First, store mushrooms carefully. After cooking, place leftovers in airtight glass containers, not plastic, to avoid moisture buildup that accelerates oxidation and spoilage. Always refrigerate them promptly. Second, reheat mushrooms gently if you must. Skip the microwave and use low heat on the stove or in the oven to minimize structural damage. Better yet, enjoy mushrooms cold. Leftover sautéed mushrooms can be delicious added to salads, drizzled with lemon juice, olive oil, and sprinkled with fresh herbs. Cold mushrooms not only taste great, but also save you the worry of reheating entirely. Finally, cook only what you plan to eat. Mushrooms are best enjoyed fresh. By preparing smaller portions, you avoid storage and reheating challenges altogether, keeping every meal as nourishing as possible. The bigger lesson here? Even the smallest kitchen habits can shape your health over time. Skipping reheated mushrooms might seem trivial, but reducing oxidative stress and digestive strain today can help you feel lighter, more energized, and more resilient tomorrow. Your immune system and digestive health are under constant pressure, especially as you age. Protect them with mindful choices, one meal at a time. Now that we've explored how delicate foods like mushrooms can quietly impact your body when reheated, it's time to reflect. Which discovery surprised you most? Was it the hidden bacterial dangers in leftover potatoes? The unexpected risks of reheating spinach? The subtle, long-term effects of warming chicken or eggs? Or perhaps today's deeper look into why even your mushrooms deserve gentle handling? Take a moment to think about the everyday habits you might want to change. Could you start preparing smaller portions? Switch to gentler reheating methods? Or simply rethink how you handle leftovers? Tiny adjustments can have a powerful impact on your long-term health. Thank you for joining this journey of hidden food dangers and simple solutions. By becoming more mindful of how you store, cook, and reheat your meals, you're taking meaningful steps toward protecting your energy, your focus, and your well-being, one thoughtful meal at a time.